tech.
The troll song shows up. The goddamn...
Trollolo?
Yeah. They use that song in it.
Yeah.
The bad guy hacks their ship's computer and forces it on auto replay.
Well, because the bad guy in that one is just a nerd.
He's a throwaway character from the second game.
Yep.
This is our 10th anniversary special. Really? This is it? This is
It's probably also the last Insomniac Games title that Sony's going to get for a long while.
Yeah. Well,
This
other
gun's
than
not working
Fuse.
Well,
But that was
that
multi-platform.
yeah, that doesn't count. It's not an exclusive. And also, did that come out before or after?
After.
Well, it was close.
Fuse came out this year.
Yeah.
Full Frontal Assault came out last year.
Right.
I just... Oh my god. It's sickening. It's like, guys, do you not even care about a franchise that has made you all the money? It's like...
No, I haven't. Ow.
Press harder to dive or rise faster. Your helmet will provide oxygen.
Right, I forgot about that. This game is one of the few games in this series, in this console, that actually make use of the pressure-sensitive buttons. Yes, these buttons are actually pressure-sensitive. When you push them harder, they know you're pushing harder.
Yeah, that was actually pretty inventive.
It's easily implemented, too. It's so more expensive than a non-pressure-sensitive button. It's just like a... Instead of pushing a little pad on a circuit board, you're pushing a little variable resistor on a circuit board.
And then DualShock 3 ruined it all by by making the controllers weird trigger buttons.
I like those weird trigger buttons.
I don't. I liked them originally, but now, after I played a bunch of PS2 games, I like the PS2 controller a lot more.
I like the PS2 controller more, but I still don't mind the PS3 controller. And the
Noise the crap
PS4 controller is supposed to have different feeling, more trigger-like, less slip off the trigger with your finger shaped. So that's
Okay
gonna be
with
good.
I'm interested in the feel of the PlayStation 4 controller, because
I believe it's a little smaller, actually.
it doesn't look smaller.
From what I read, it's supposedly slightly, if not smaller, just more streamlined shaped. What?
Well, I don't mind if it takes a few cues from the 360 controller, but the 360 controller does things that I don't like.
Like what?
The button layout is too close together.
The button faces themselves are about the same size. I was reading a review, and there's this guy who was a big PlayStation dude, so he plays a lot of PlayStation, and how does the controllers feel? And said the PlayStation controller feels smaller somehow, but he wasn't really sure if he could describe it, and he didn't have one on hand to compare. The Xbox controller, on the other hand, is...
It feels comfortable in your hands fine, but all the buttons and the sticks are really close to the middle. So it's like holding it's fine, but your fingers feel cramped.
I don't know you, but fingers don't really feel cramped on a 360 controller. It just... The texture of a 360 controller is different. I don't like the sort of porous texture. It makes the controller feel dirty.
I just don't like how everything is so close together. The triggers are great though. Like the shoulders, that's how controller shoulders should feel.
I was right next to a special thing down there.
Sure.
Yeah, what did you get down here? But yeah, right. Forgot about that. How many do I have? I've got 5. I need 6 to buy just about anything. Oh, 5 for this one. I forgot about the skins. There's a way to unlock more skins too, isn't there?
Cheat code.
Right, cheat code.
They also just have more skins on PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, there's something behind that door. I want to know why these don't target him. None
Yeah,
of
the
bad
weapon
guys.
targeting is a little weird.
Well, no. The why don't the bad guys target the good guy, who's just cowering right next to them? That actually adds
They
some
are
challenge
robots.
to this level. What, are
I
they
can
robots
understand-
programmed just to hunt wombats?
Well, no, I can understand the robots being able to actually. I almost assumed that all robots have built-in power or built-in scouters.
They could detect your power level.
Well, they could detect which one. They could prioritize threats.
That kind of makes sense, except that
Except that doesn't, because how do you prioritize a threat? It's like, well, one of them is a green dude, the other's a furry dude. They're both aliens. I say kill them both unless they give me reason not to. Maybe they're programmed to kill the... I can understand if they were programmed to go for Clank
because he's a robot.
or Ratchet,
Because
because maybe Nefarious would know about them and be able to program that into his robots, that these two are the ones you want to kill. But I don't think at this point Nefarious even knows about Ratchet and Clank. He's out for Quark, not Ratchet and Clank.
well, he probably knows about Ratchet and Clank. Probably just doesn't care that much.
Well,
Given that
think...
Ratchet and Clank haven't done anything to him yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we know he knows them. Ugh, excuse me.
That
We
was
know that-
hardly even a hidden titanium bolt.
We know that he knows of Ratchet as the chauffeur because he's a big fan of Secret Agent Clank.
Yes. But he doesn't probably know much about actual Ratchet and Clank.
Somehow he strikes me as the fan fiction type of fan as opposed to the
The
As opposed
obsessive
to-
own all their merchandise type of fan.
well, that is the fan fiction type of fan, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple. But
Okay, fine. He's more He's more the obsessive. Could you autograph my spinal cord fan? As opposed to the. Well, I guess Nefarious doesn't have a spinal cord. Could you
anymore.
autograph the jar that contains my human brain?
Don't think that exists either.
Doesn't it?
No.
So why is he still Nefarious?
Uh,
I thought his brain was in a jar.
well, I'm pretty sure his brain is a bunch of... Now, hang on a second. Robot that's supposed to be targeting slimes. Chilling out with a bunch of slimes. Here we go. Oh, come on. I can do this the old-fashioned way.
Meh, what do I know?
Yeah, I'm quite convinced that he doesn't have a brain in a jar. He was just completely converted to a robot when he fell into whatever.
Meh. I really wanted a. I really wish they would have at least mentioned
Oh, I
Angela
died.
other than naming a weapon skin after her.
What the shit? I gotta go all the way back here?
Oh shit, you have to do that whole section over.
Yep.
Bullshit.
I agree. Well, looks like I gotta be more careful about where I step in.
But not only just mention Angela, I wish that the Ratchet gameplay had been more like Deadlocked. I'm of the opinion that the weakest part of every Ratchet and Clank game is when you're just using Ratchet. it just doesn't feel natural. Like, using Ratchet and being able to use Clank as well is the best part of Ratchet and Clank. And when you're not playing as Ratchet, Deadlocked is great, because it's like, well, when you don't have Clank to help you, they give you a fuck ton of weapons to kick ass with.
Or little robot companions, which are also quite helpful.
Yes, they are incredibly helpful.
In fact, I make them do like half my level sometimes.
Yeah. So, why didn't they do that with A Crack in Time, except make Azimuth and Angela your robot companions?
That'd be a good idea.
Rework the levels of Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time to be more like the levels of Deadlocked, minus the maybe not quite as narrow or straightforward or as quite the same kind of game show objective-oriented style. I mean, with Azimuth telling you exactly where to go, and like, well, that city level, for example.
Yes.
Where Azimuth is telling you, where Azimuth and his Krang contact are telling you exactly what to do.
Yeah. It'd actually be...
Would that not have been a lot more fun if Azimuth and Angela were basically acting as the robot companions that you would have in Deadlocked?
That'd be pretty neat. Have them be kind of like how What's-Her-Face is in Prince of Persia.
Farah?
Yeah.
Wait,
not
are you
quite
talking Prince of Persia 08 or Sands of Time?
Oh, I'm thinking... oh, wait.
Oh, hell, what's her name? Farah's the girl from
Farah's
the
the
Sands of
donkey.
Time series.
Yes, Farah's the donkey.
Farah's only a donkey in that continuity.
I know. That's why... Alright, where does the Forgotten Sands fall into the whole thing?
Forgotten Sands is a prequel to Warrior Within.
Alright.
So it's an in-between-quel between Sands of Time and the game that came out right after Sands of Time.
Well, I gotta get my hands on a copy of The Warrior Within.
You can get an HD collection now for PS3.
I don't want the HD collection yet because I don't have Warrior Within. I've never played Warrior Within on the PS2.
Alright. I've never played Shadow of the Colossus or Ico on PS2. I'm just gonna get the HD collection.
I got Shadow Colossus on the PS2 if you want to try it.
I'm just gonna get the HD collection.
You should play it on the PS2 to see what it looked like on the PS2 because it's one of the best.
I know what it looked like on the PS2 because I watched you play it.
It's one of the best looking PS2 games.
I know, and as far as I know, it's the best looking PS3 game.
That's surprising.
I've seen some footage, man. I think it kicks a bunch
Wait.
of ass.
I suppose they don't have to deal with the fog, and
I think they still use the fog, but they do it better.
they do it artfully.
Yes.
They use it intentionally as opposed to...
They do it intentionally as opposed to as a necessity for draw distance problems.
Silent Hill.
Oh, Silent Hill HD pisses me off.
I was reading a I don't even know what to call it, just an article, I suppose, and it was 10 things that gamers of this generation wouldn't understand. I think it was number 2 was when fog was unintentional, and its statement was the original Turok.
Oh my god, Turok.
And this is like not the Turok Dinosaur Hunter for the PlayStation whatever. This is just Turok for the N64.
Yeah.
And it was like a really, really shitty maze with dinosaurs.
I don't think that's a Turok game.
Pretty sure he said Turok and had a picture of that.
Huh. A maze?
Well, not maze, but like hedges.
Maybe, I don't know.
It just looked really bad. Like, even for an N64 game. Wow, lock-on function. You are useful.
What is that article? I think I'd like to read it.
I don't remember. I was just searching through millions and millions of web pages. about information on how to put emulators on your original Xbox.
Oh, that's one little addition to this game that I really love was the lock-on health bar mod.
Yeah.
That was great. That's a modification, isn't it?
No.
No?
I
thought it was.
It's a auto-acquired upgrade.
Oh,
So
right.
when, like this gun hit level 3 and it gets that upgrade.
Right.
One of my favorite parts with the Ratchet and Clank series as a whole, something that a lot of games that feel like this are missing, which is friendly fire between enemies.
God damn it.
You have a really annoying home phone.
Well, it's useful when when you're not recording things.
To lock onto enemies, press and
There we go.
And besides, I think that's just a telemarketer. Son of a bitch.
Pick up the phone and scream into it. No, I don't want what you're selling, and slam it down. Turns out it's your grandmother or something.
Dave's not here, man!
No, this is Patrick. That's one thing about the games, though, is the first game, all the enemies sort of do a standard 1, 2, or 3 health damage. Then the second game, they do increasing health. So they can have the enemies do more damage as you progress.
I think the enemies in 1 take a spike at some point.
Oh yeah, at some point they go straight from 1 to 3, and then they throw
3
in
to
2.
16.
Well, your maximum health possible in that game is 8. So I don't see how they can do 16 damage.
Oh, the damage they do, not the damage they take to die.
No, the damage they take to die is a lot more ridiculous of a curve. But, oh yeah. Tip for anybody playing through this game, to make money quickly, go through this portion of the game and then die, and then go through this portion of the game and then die repeatedly, because these boxes come back. And
Or
they aren't a huge source of money, but they are a source of money. Or just keep playing VidComics.
VidComics are actually probably the easier way, but I find they're the most tedious. Do what I did. Wait until you get to until you unlock all of the Annihilation Nation challenges,